also something that like you just have to know to do. You have to be able to have your work at eye level. It's so important. You cannot work any other way. Okay, hold on. I'm just gonna raise I got a Julian easel here. For those of you that are looking for easels that you can change around and carry, a Julian easel is quite the easel. I just got to figure out how I'm doing this. Okay, there we go. Excuse me. I have to get this easel up, and I'm just. Oh, I think I got it, guys. I'm sorry. I'm on a different thing. Julian easel has a lot of knobs, and it's cool. You can it like compacts down to like a little suitcase. Okay. And it's really great for landscapers. If you like to go outside and, do your work and draw or paint the outside world, that's what you want to call a landscaper. Okay, great. This is cool. I'm ready. All right. Let me just get a little clip. I'll be right there. Since I turned it portrait, I think I need a little help to hold those pages. I'll be right there. Okay, I'm just going to use a little clothespin for right now. I always use clothespins. I have no idea why. But okay, so here we go. Now I got my pencils and I'm looking. Now I am going to select exactly how I want to crop this image. You all should have a photo of the image. So how I'm going to crop this image is like where I want to start and finish. Okay, if I choose to do the little TP next to the carousel, next to the enamored, the beautiful design skull, next to the conga, I can choose that. What if I choose not to do that other part where this golden box is? That is my prerogative, and that's your prerogative as well. We want to see different perspectives or all perspectives. Now, yeah.
Quick question. I think I am not able to download the still life, and I think that others are having a similar issue. Yeah. A lot of people are saying that their computer can't open the file. I had the same problem.
So Christina, I added it as an attachment.
Yeah.
And it didn't, and I couldn't see it.
Yeah, it's still not working even as an attachment. I can go into your canvas and I can try and pull it and put it up as under another file name. If that would be helpful.
Oh, okay. Would that be helpful? Okay, could you do that while I'm doing this, and I'll check it out later? And
I'll try that. Yeah, I'll be right back.
You want me to send you the file? Should I send you the file?
I'll see if I can pull it off Canvas, and if I can't, then I'll get it from you another way. Yeah.
Now listen, I also uploaded it up to Zoom on the chat.
Yeah, it's not working in the chat on Zoom. So let me poke around. I'll see if I can get it in a way that everyone can see it. But just go ahead and keep going. Yeah.
You know what? It uploaded as HEIC.
Yeah.
It might need to just be changed to JPEG.
Yeah.
I forgot. Sorry guys. I forgot to change it to JPEG. I'm sorry. And I'm like running you guys like you should. So I'm gonna wait for 1 second. Let me see what I can do. Hold for 1 second. Let me see what I can do. Okay. Where is that? Here it is. Guys, can you see this? Can you see this? Can everybody see this? Unmute yourself and let me know, because I need to know. You can. That is the still life. And what I need to obviously do is change it from the JPEG. Can everybody see this? And then, but they can't see me when I'm working. Is that the thing? Yeah, I don't think you guys can see me when I'm working. Okay. All right, she's gonna, but that's the still life. I'm trying to figure out what I can do. Hold on for 1 second. Just bear with me for 1 second while I get the photo. I thought everybody could see it. I'm so sorry. I am, unmute yourself, please, because somebody is, yeah, I'm gonna try to upload that one more time, guys. There we go, let's see what happens. Yes, okay, so let's see what happens, guys. You can see that? Can you see that, guys? Can everybody see the image that I uploaded to Zoom? Okay.
Sorry, I can't see it.
Okay, so I just uploaded an image to Zoom. You cannot see that?
Right no, now? I can't see it anywhere.
No, wow, okay, I'm having a problem. We need that image, let me see. Let me just try for 1 second to re-upload this. Okay, not sure why this is happening. You're right, I don't know why it's happening. Let's see, oh wow, let me see what I can do. You saw it when I shared the screen though, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So nobody, it still says no for me. Here, I just sent this. Open file. It opens for me. That's interesting. This is the file that I just sent. And it has JPEG on it. It says click to open. And nobody can see this file? I'm so sorry. Okay. Let me see. I'm going to have to share the screen, but I don't know how. Hey, Christina.
Yep.
I changed it to JPEG. I uploaded it on chat, but
I know it's, yeah, and it's still not opening. I'm not sure what that is. If you want to email it to me, I can put it on Canvas.
Yeah, let's get that done right away.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, just take a moment. I will make sure that that we rectify this. Okay, just take a moment. Thank goodness for Christina. If we didn't have her, we would be so in a bad way. Okay, I sent it to Christina, so she's gonna be on it. Okay. All right. Well, I hope anybody that can get. I just feel like, wow, this is so strange. I wish that everybody could get this. But she'll get it and she'll upload it very quickly, so we can just go on. But does anybody have any questions? Does everybody have their materials? Unmute yourself if you need to talk. It's okay. I want you to get used to just busting in and talking to me. Okay. Let's give a minute for Christina to help us out here. But if you notice, I am eye level with my work. I have to be able to see it. I can't look down because the perspective will be off, all right? The image that I have is just a bunch of interesting miniatures. And let's see, I'm waiting, uh-oh. Sorry, I should have this, sorry. Okay. There's one thing about working from home, it's great, or even if we were working anywhere, but it's just that phone thing. You have to make sure people don't disturb you. Okay. I'm just gonna wait for, I think I'm gonna start anyway. When you guys get to see it, I wanna share the screen, but I'm working from 2 different screens. And your guys are only working from one. So if I share the screen, you won't see what I'm doing. But let's just go with just a little bit of a start, because we can't just wait, okay? You won't be able to work with me because you can't see the image. If you can see the image, then just work with me. But otherwise, just watch me for a bit. We'll go through this, okay? I'll make sure that you guys get to see that image, okay? But I think that we need to start, okay? I have this still life that's in front of me. And like I said, I'm looking down from a different perspective. My perspective is basically looking down. When I'm starting, I really do pay attention to something I'm going to train your eyes to do: light and shadow. I want you to follow the shadow. Where there's fundamental light, there's always fundamental dark, okay? There's always dark next to light. So these lights, and I do this automatically, I start to draw basically the outline, excuse me, the outline today. I draw the outline. Okay. And I mean, I'm sort of drawing the shadows in the outline, if you understand. Okay. So basically I'm just drawing this shade that's behind the carousel that's going to evolve. The carousel in itself is shade. So I am definitely grabbing everything about this carousel that's dark. That's my outline. That's my line. You can't see it good enough. Hold on. Look at this. Can you see better now? Can you see the lines better? Okay, I think you can see it better. I think you can see my line better. Okay. Okay. I just want to make sure that you can see it very good. Okay. All right. There we go. I think that's good. That's good. Now I'm using my HB, believe it or not. See that? I still can get a very dark line with it. I think you guys need to be higher up. I am going to, while she's getting the photo together, we're just gonna make sure that everything's gonna be adjusted well. Sorry this is happening. Everything is sort of like off, but it's the first day. And what worked last year is not gonna work this year, I think. Excuse me. I'm just gonna switch you guys over. Okay. Okay. Sorry. Excuse me. We're having all kinds of like little silly things going on. Okay, great. There we go. Okay, that's much better. Sorry about all this stuff that's going on today. It's so weird. Everything, like I said, you can't bring in the past into the future, it seems. Okay. I hope Christina's able to do this and she's not having a problem, because I'm so anxious for you guys to work, you know? Okay. Here I go. I'm still working with my HB, okay? And I'm just gonna go here. I'm touching, most of the things that I'm touching are dark. You know, they're dark, lightly. I am not trying to always do a line drawing. It's too, you know, I want you to work on the spontaneous. I want you to use your eyes, okay? Sometimes that means going big. You know, sometimes that means just being small and controlled, you know? But you'll learn to be able to shape form without the use of excessive line, you know? And if you're doing that and you feel like, well, that's my comfort zone, I'm not ready to get out of it, it's okay. You know, it's okay. I just want you to loosen up and start to trust your instincts of where your first mark goes. Okay? There are guides in your eyes that like are better than just that line that you're following, you know? So it literally helps with your perspective when you look at lights and darks. And I want you to work loosely, get it all in. But some of you have your way. Some of you are absolutely fabulous at doing what you do best. And I'm not going to interrupt that because everybody has their process. Everybody. And that's what artists do. They basically, you know, find what their process is and they deliver the message. Whatever that message is, they're delivering it. Right? So basically, I want you to follow the form in lights and darks. Now, because you don't even see the photograph, you can't even possibly see what's going on here and how I'm trying to develop this carousel. But I know that this carousel is all in shade. I just don't want you guys to sit there and wait. So I'm gonna, you know, I'm doing this. Now on this side, I know that everything is in shade, right? And I'm looking at this carousel and the carousel is rounded. So it's all in shade. I am not really using my eraser, although I told you to bring one. I'm not an eraser fan. I believe your first mark is the right mark. But I know that a lot of, you know, other people that are just starting out, they might say, hey, I need that eraser. Thanks for telling me to bring it. So yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay with all of that. Do we have anything working on the photograph yet? Let's see. Nobody could get the
Not quite
photograph.
yet. I'm working on it. Yep.
Oh,
I just got the photo to open. Yeah, I just got it to open. I just got the photo.
All right, right on. Let's get busy. Yes, everybody, try it again. And then Christina, you gotta tell me what's going on, because I'm uploading things that are nobody can see. You gotta tell me how to do it after we have a break. Thank you. Yeah, that's fantastic. Oh yeah, we have to thank Christina, man, because I could be out here. You know, she's helping me. You know, it's great. I'm so happy because we would have been a little bit stuck, or you know, time just wasting on finding how to, you know, do this upload. Now, can you see? Does everybody have it downloaded yet? I know the Wiz has got it up. So does everybody got it downloaded yet?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you kind of see where I'm working? I'm going to show you some lines, right? Then maybe you'll be able to follow. Okay. I am working on the carousel. I want you to see something that I just did. Do you see all these little lines? How they don't mean anything? Don't erase them. Don't erase them. Because these lines are going to be, you know, they can be a lot of things in your drawing. They can be shade, where I'm going to teach you how to cross hatch. So these lines come into play. And do you see how I'm also curving lines to show that it's rounded or that it has a roundness? Okay, that's also something I want you guys to get into making texture with line. Okay, so line is not just a drawing, right? It's not just like, oh, I'm mentally tracing and not seeing the full entity of the drawing. You know, don't worry about detail, worry about shape, form, and then content. Does that make sense? Yeah, right? Because most of us, when we're drawing, we get in a zone. And if line drawing is what you want to get in a zone, and you may be speaking in like a very detailed sense, and we're going to talk about that too. There are great line drawing artists. I want to say her name, and I'm going to mess it up, but I think it's Hope Gyllenhaal. I'm not sure. I'm gonna give you guys a reference of her probably later today, so you can just see some of the artists, you know, that do different work. You know, I mean, they do different work. You know, and it's going to be great for you guys to see it, because I know some of you probably already are, you know, going to be influenced by these artists. Okay. let's say my perspective isn't just right the first time I do it. I want to make this curve over here into this on this one side of the carousel. This is where the front of the carousel disappears into turning, right? So it's turning, so it literally disappears. In fact, you can see a glimpse of the Congo that is right beside it, right? Right. So, and here it's all like, it's the front and it's dipping. I got a little line drawing going there, but if I really want to block it in, I know it's all in shade because it's all in shade up into here. It's all in shade in here. I'm learning my perspective. You know, it disappears here, right? But I can see the end of it, the plastic in here. So, and over here, same thing, lightly, right? Now, the only time I want you to use your kneaded eraser or your eraser is to show highlights. And highlights to me are details, right? Unless you're trying to tell yourself, no, I gotta mentally tell myself, this is not as dark as I think it is. Okay, now my 6B is gonna be ultra dark. So let's stay with the HB2B. Let me see what else we got that's under H that I want you to stick with because it's too dark. This is going to be the icing on the cake. This is your detail pencil, that 6B, nice and dark and crisp. You're going to use this in just little areas that are going to make it pop, right? You're going to make it pop. So if you want to get into, let's say, well, it cuts in here. How do you know it cuts in there? It cuts in there because we see shadow, and shadow is forming it, right? Shadow's forming it. Well, it's shadow here, then what's there? And I can't see here. Anybody got a question? Talk. No? Anything? Okay. I think I heard somebody's mic. Make it darker. Make it darker here. Use your 6B and you can see it pop. Okay? Now, again, in the details, every fundamental dark has a fundamental light, and you can bet there's going to be some kind of light that differs the two, because this is, this is just shadow, and this is actually an object. So it's going to have some kind of like a shadow on it. Okay, it's going to have some shadow that's going to make it give its form. It's like you can see it, but you got to make it real. You have to make it real. Okay. All right. And I'm trying to get this in here so you can recognize where I'm working very fast. Now, don't make it up as you go along. This whole class is a training of the eye. And that's basically what it is. You're artist, you're born that way. That's why you came here, right? We don't even have to go there, right? You're all artists, right? But you have a different vision. Your eye sees different things. And what I want you to do is start to train that eye to see the lights and darks. And what that's called is training your primitive eye, okay? Primitive eye dates us back to when we were living without electric light. And how could we see things in the far off distance? We squinted. We squinted our eyes, and that's how we were able to see the ambiguous in the dark. You understand? So if we were out and we were hunting and it got dark and we couldn't see, I'm doing a little line drawing, just a little bit, no big deal. Look at me, how I go right into the shadow of the skull, okay? I'm trying not to make it a line drawing because that's not where I want it to go, okay? Okay, so I am now venturing into the Conga. And if you squint your eyes on that blue, you will see shadow within that ultramarine, very ultramarine blue, okay? So you will see shadow in that. Now, what's gonna help you is following the form and see if you can look at the top of this Conga rim that I'm creating. I'm gonna create it. And then over here is just the top of the carousel on the side. This Conga rim is giving me measurement. because I know there's space in between this rim and this edge of the carousel. That's a measurement tool. Another measurement tool is if I take this pencil and let's see what we see. It opens. Thank you. Thank you, Christina. Christina just sent us a message. Let's all thank her. Now, this is your instrument to measure. So you're looking at the object in this manner, right? Because you're trying to measure, you're checking out the side of that golden box, the higher end of the golden box, and it's slanted, right? So you're checking out the lens. So your pencil is following the edge of that golden box. And I'll show it to you again when we have our private 101s, okay? So you wanna keep that. Let's say we just keep that pencil right there, take it and transform it to your paper and make the mark. That's the angle, okay? That's the angle, all right? If you ever have a problem with that, you need a little bit more explanation on that, we'll talk, okay? No problem. Okay. Okay. I do work a little all over the place because I believe in getting it in. And that is different than the line drawing. Do you dig it? See, the line drawing, you got to work like connect the dots sometimes. You know, you're tracing a form. And this, I want you to actually just try to get it in lights and darks and create your form in that. You know, yes, I'm venturing into little details, trying to figure out where it all goes, because that's going to help me with my perspective in this case. Okay, right here, then I'm done. Okay, kind of goes over. Okay. And in here, it's not so over, and it's actually lighter. So what I'm gonna do is take my kneaded eraser and just lighten it up. Just lighten it up. And lighting it up just means not rubbing it, not right now, just dabbing, you know? Because nothing in this drawing is absolutely white, you know? Nothing in the drawing is absolutely white. So also, our end here is at an angle, a slight angle, but that angle helps turn the object. Do I have to make that hard line? Nope. I can use my shade. I can use what's underneath. Find the darkness underneath. There it goes, right? It almost goes all the way up into it. And then that also goes into the drum. Now the drum has a design on it. It's the Puerto Rican flag, and that's the design. But even in its darkness of the ultramarine blue, there are other areas that are darker. You just have to use your primitive eye and you have to squint, okay? You wanna squint. All right. Okay. All right, and I'm doing the top of the drum because everything I touch has a fundamental light and a fundamental dark. So that's where I go. I just go there. You know, I just go, okay, well, that's there. And then it has a metal piece in here, and that's reflective of the conga. Now I'm seeing it in real time. So I'm seeing it in this, and you're seeing it in frozen time, you know, where I took the image, the picture of the image, but I haven't changed the lighting. Okay. Now there's certain areas that I will probably look. I'll go back and hit this area right here. Look at that with this 6B. Ooh, well, do you see it pop? Do you see it pop? You see that? I don't even look. I can just do little tiny, teeny scribbles. And if you ever get really like, you know, oh, my scribbles go all over. No, they don't. Check it out. You can do it in circles. You can do it in circles, and that will control. Okay, that controls. Even this green emblem, from my perspective, is not all one. It's in shade. Certain areas are in shade. Okay. So you get to see the creation of your piece, almost like you're making it yourself, not just your drawing, but making these objects yourself. You think? Okay. All right. I know I got that old lingua. What they call me, the old head or something. I don't know. But okay, so we're just doing this shading in here, okay? Shading. I'm building in form, okay? Now, the reason why I really wanted to show you guys these things is because I know that a lot of you are already doing line drawing and you want to come away from it. You're saying, I want to challenge myself to make it look different or just learn a different technique. And that's what we do. And you'll be learning all these different techniques until you create where you're comfortable at in life. And that could take some time, you know? Now, this goes in a slant. What do I do with this edge here? Well, I'm not gonna fret. There's something behind it. I think there was a calendar or something behind it. And I believe that calendar, let me see, if this is the top of the carousel, then let's see, then the calendar is here. All right, it's there. And I'm just gonna look at that. So I'm actually tracing, but I'm tracing to create form. You know, I am really noticing what's next to the form. So I am a little bit like in the real terms, I am outlining, but I'm outlining in shade and lights and darks, which create the form that I'm looking for. Okay. So that calendar end probably comes through here, or I'm going to say a little higher. From my standpoint, I'm looking down, so it's a little higher. Now, relating that information is definitely going to give me good perspective, and it's going to be able to say to my viewer, this is actually where it is. This is what I'm looking at, and that's what that does. It says that to the viewer. So let me put my 6B down before I touch it, and get all wild with my 6B. Because I love that one. I like the quick defining reference of darkness in that 6B, because we all like to, it gives us that assuredness of a line drawing, the darkness. And that's what I want you guys to kind of concentrate on there. Okay. We're going to, this one goes a little different. Goes in. And then it goes and it sort of disappears into the next. I'm going to use my kneaded eraser, bringing that out, trimming the top of my other reference of turning, top of the carousel. Okay. Okay. Bring those lines down the way we really see them if we can. There we go. Okay. And you only see a little bit of the other side. And any questions? I bet you guys want me to be quiet so you can just go and draw. Okay, soon I'll be quiet. I'll be quiet soon. Okay, using my kneaded eraser for light, right? And although like I can't wait to go to town with my 6B, my darker, but I'm not ready. I'm still getting it all in, right? I want to get it all in here into the drawing. The drawing goes deeper. It's got this brass here. Okay. It's got a little back there. Now the back will be lighter, almost a little lighter than the front. It catches more light. It's next to a light, so it's definitely going to catch more light. And let's see, we're going to do the sides of this, the other side, so you can see how that forms. Okay, that comes into the conga here. The conga side is over there. And it's also in shade underneath that helps form, and even more so on top as it disappears to the other side. Okay, and it comes down in shade. You see, not that much. Yeah, it does actually look like that much when you're, from my perspective. Let's go on a couple things. Okay, see a little bit of the star. Okay. Let's get that shaded in so you understand location. So there's something going on here. Another little metal piece. There's darkness there. Ah, that comes out like that actually, from my perspective. Okay. Star doesn't actually go all the way to the end. There's darkness there. Okay, so we're getting some kind of, we're getting data. Okay. Okay. With my gingham that's over it, I'm just going to make some broad marks. Okay, we know that there's something that is coming down. We know that if we follow the pattern, then we can also see it's diagonal. You know, you see how the fabric's moving, right? All right. But let's just shade it all in anyway, right? Because it's not, certain areas are very much in shade. In fact, the part that seems like it comes closer to the light is in shade. And it goes down somehow, it just like goes into this fabric, making, yeah, this is turning a little, just a very small amount. And then we have another carousel part of the plastic that's here. There's a part of darkness here and the plastic is here. Okay. Just making sure that we're all with us. Does anybody have any questions? Please just unmute yourself and ask your question. It's okay, or we can save it until we have a little one-on-one. So now there is another trick. Now I need to start to sharpen my pencil. There are other tricks, you know, about perspective and all kinds of things. Lights and darks. If you want to know what's really white on your paper, you know, then I would take a white piece of paper and hold that white piece of paper up to the object in question and see whether it's as white as that piece of paper. And that, you know, therefore we don't have to get things as white, but maybe you might want to start getting things darker, you understand, that are juxtaposed. That means right next to that dark. So again, rule, fundamental light, where there's a fundamental light, there's a fundamental dark. And only an artist could change that vision, right? With their own rules. So, but that's how the eye sees it. You know, it's all like a prism. So we see it as things are next to another thing, then we can see that form better. And that's exactly how I'm telling you that, you know, try relating that information in that way. Okay, so we go, let's just say, we're just making gesture marks when it comes to the fabric. Don't get all tied in, okay? to what that might be saying. I'm using my pencil to angle that golden box. I see another skull. In here is all shadow. I have to get it because that's what I see. Does everybody follow when I say that kind of stuff? I mean, like, I see, yes, I see one mass of a composition. Sure I do. But what do I really see? Use your primitive eye, squint, and become abstract. Start to see that they're just shapes and objects and tone. Don't get into the color. The color is still a tone. If you look at it, you'll see just lights and darks of that tone, of that hue, which would be your color, right? And the tones would be the impressions that it's making on your eyes for it to be seen, right? So really, the top of this conga is really all in shade except for the rim, which would give it perspective immediately. Understand? I want to come up a little. There I go. Yeah, that's me. I'm up here, right? But here I have my kneaded eraser and I can just shape it, shape the lightness, which shapes the conga. Okay. If you do your circles, and you can manage your shading, that's just another way of shading, scribble. I'm cross-hatching through here. I drew my lines this way, now I'm going back the opposite way. Okay, a little too sharp, I can see that, but that's okay. I can add a little darkness in there anyway where that mark was, right? Right? Because this is really dark, but I'll say that for my 6B when I get there. And this is really dark. And so here we go. But there is darkness in the metal. This is where your kneaded eraser starts to talk a little, You start to play around. Is it really light? It's not really light. It's got a lots of different shades going on in that metal. All right. And in here I can see that there is, again, that gingham. And then there's all the shade in here. I'm cross-hatching as a quick reference. I can go back into it. And in this, I can not only go back into it, but I can add the gingham. I can start to add that. That could be the last thing, or it could be also a way that you understand how things are going. You may use it as a grid, and just get it in, right? Okay. Slimmer than I even think. It doesn't even go up here like that, I'm going to use, see, we're going to shape this with my eraser as I'm looking at it so I can understand how it's doing. I have here the rim of the conga. And I'm almost going to just, it's like a lip, I'm just going to take it down. But this shape of the conga also is reference to the star that you blocked in, or you didn't, or you may have just, gestured it. It's not a big deal, okay? But it's in reference. It's going to tell you that star. It's going to tell you how short it is if you're looking at lights and darks. Okay. Take your time if that's some of the things you need to do. Enlarge the photo, crop the photo, do what you can do to be attracted to the scene and get it done in your eye. You know, it doesn't have to be in my eye. You don't have to change the photo at all. You could just do what you wanted to do. You know, you can just say, oh, well, I like it the way it is. I'm just going to work with it. Then do that. Yeah, then do that. We'll see how it all goes, you know. Now, at the end of the day today, we're going to take an hour out to look at, and it may be even more, depending on how many people we have. And we're going to do an artist share looking at today's work and just, you know, going over today's work. I mean, that's what I usually like to do at the end of our session, to see how you guys have done, because I want you to have some time to really work. We will also have artist references, and you'll see that, and I'll post those onto our Canvas, and you can see that, you know, during class or after class. It's not a problem. We can discuss those artists at some point today or tomorrow. We have another agenda tomorrow, so we'll be working on something completely different. Now, I'm just giving a gesture to a horse. I'm going back up here. Now, let me see. So there is a line that goes down to that carousel to the horse. I know that there's shade that goes this way. And somehow that horse's tail is in, yeah, there we go. It's in the, I'm just doing just gestures, nothing big, not getting into the horse yet. That's not where I am. That might be where you guys want to go. You might say, oh, I just want to do the horse. I just want to do the carousel. Well, that is your prerogative. Okay. All right. Just trying to get information in so my viewer understands something about what's going on. Now, they won't understand. They don't have to understand why you're doing it, but right now you're my viewer, so. Okay. Let's see. So we have one going right out into the middle right there. You see that one? That one straight that goes down? That's sort of like, that's like that. And it goes down white, then it goes red. And it's kind of like a slimmer of white on the other side. But I want to get that. There it goes. My jewelry box is so dark on the side there. It really is. I'm just grab that and pull it right in. Okay. And it just gets pointy. And then I'll use my pencil, do it again. And I'm now going to do the angle of the front of the jewelry box. And it's like this here. Right there. There it is. The crisp edge of it. Okay. And it goes back. But it goes back in shadow. So it actually goes back in shadow. And just shoot. I'm just relaying information. As I get in here, I can do the details later, right? I'm just getting some of the information. I know that it's not light, but it is lighter than the side of the box. Okay. And then there's something darker, which is like some kind of decoration or darkness of the box. It goes back. It goes back. That too is in shade up into this object of the skull. Okay. Down. We know, let's say it stops there. The eyes of the skull hit around here. So we know that the skull goes, the darkness is in there. It has a thin layer of bone here, or, you know, it's plastic, but you know what I mean. Okay. Just assume that it is a real skull. Okay, it's got darkness underneath that socket. Kind of protrude out. The shadow in here shows the jutness of this one, and it goes into an angle, that shadow. Then it comes down, but you won't be able to see that. But I can show you the darkness in here. That's darker, okay? You're not seeing it all the way. You gotta follow, follow, follow with shade. And it goes in and it comes out. See, it's like that. It's dark. The teeth, or an idea of teeth. Just sort of, goes out. Hold on, let me just see. Okay, so I want that to come out even further. Okay. And this goes out even further. And we just get that gum and the nose in here. Let's see, it goes up around there. And I think the nose is even longer. Let's get that in there. Ha! And then we're going to get the teeth. It's so dark. It's just all dark here. And so it doesn't come out all the way. It comes out. Perspective, and then it goes back in. So we're going to work on the skull, but this, I mean, from my perspective, I'm going to have to stand back. I think a little perspective is just a little off, but that's just one part of the skull. And of course, I have to make the viewer understand from my perspective how this mouth turns. Okay, and all the darkness around that side and the darkness around here, I'm also going to get in here and kind of like validate those mark makings. I can take the edge of that chin as it's slanted and know that it's probably directly beneath the eye. So I'm going to enlarge the eye just a little. Right, and then that comes out. So I'll sort of gotta pull it all back. Okay. Is everybody following? I think you guys are. Okay. So I'm just going to extend this. It's longer. I'm going to do it by cross-hatching over. Okay. And I'm going over again. So there we go. Remember, don't make it up. Take your pencil and just make it happen. Okay, so there it goes. And it's probably going to go off this page because there's so much more darkness in this chin area and darkness and space around it than what I was just assuming there was. So I may only be able to get it to here, and the shade goes down even further. I want to get maybe rid of that one line with my kneaded eraser so I can go over and I don't have that stop mark. Those are confident marks where you think that you're like, oh, I know it's there, and then you realize it's not there. And so there, and dark it up a little bit. Remember, I am not trying to spend a lot of time on just one thing. I just want to get the information in, okay? And I can come back once I've got that information in and get into more light, more detail, or I can choose. And this is also a good way to choose by just drawing very lightly and shade and, just trying to capture the objects, right? Because that way you can see whether your perspective is what you want, whether you want to crop it a certain way, how large you're working, if you didn't even know that you were going to be working that large, so you get to say, okay, this is what my vision sees, and this is what I can fit in, right? And it actually kind of disappears because it's rounded, right? So it's just like got all the shade and shadow in there too, right? So it actually kind of disappears into this other part that comes down and actually touches ground. And that's where it's darker. Okay, and there I also have to use my pencil to get there. Okay. I know that this starts here in the middle. It's dark. It comes out some, but it also does something higher here. So it comes up higher here and then goes down. Now, what I need to do is I need to step back because I'm too close to my work. I'm not actually seeing things the quick and fast way I want to. Okay. And I don't want to make things up just yet. I mean, later you can make things up, you know, as long as you can know that what you're trying to convey is true. Let me get this. So the top of this is up a little bit. It's not fully on the object, so it's a little open, I guess, just a little. Okay. Under here. All right, so I'm gonna just do a little bit more shading, and then I'm gonna let you guys have it. The carousel top, same thing. Believe it or not, it's just light and dark, right? Don't you see lines going through this little carousel pole like that? Okay. Now, reinforce it with shadow. Right? Okay. And in here, you won't see the head, right? Not from my angle, I can't see the head. Okay, so I can see the saddle. Okay. Over here, I'm just gonna get this done over here really quickly so you can just see the form. So you know where we were. In here, I can see gingham. And it goes over and it's quite thick. Okay, and then there's another horse that takes over, and there's the middle. I went a little over 30 minutes because I felt like, you know, we had a little bit of a glitch and, you know, I didn't want to cheat you out of that 30 minutes, you know, or more to help you understand where we're at. Okay. Here you have a reflective mirror that actually can get some things that you may not actually get. Like I may only get the end of that TP. And here there is, let's see, this probably goes, let me see, this is the tail of the horse. I'll cross-hatch that for a second. You can always go back and add better detail, go in it with your kneaded eraser. Okay. Oh, it's got the pretty eyes. Okay, so I'm just gonna dabble just a little bit. I can use all that shade. It's not totally white on the skull, but yes, there are elements, of course, of white on the skull. Here we go. Let me see. So the skull. Okay, great. In that area here, which is the tail of. There's the tail of the horse, and the tail of the horse comes out. Saddle. So this is, yeah, so it goes like this. Okay. But guess what? There it is right there. And I'm just going to reinforce it with some dark. There it is. And that means that the skull, if I'm looking at it right, for the space of the tail to the skull is down here. Okay. the shadow of the horse is in here too. Okay. See all the space, all that bit of space that you may have not noticed in a line drawing becomes extremely important in this kind of form drawing. You know, it becomes most important because you're looking at space. So it's a measurement of space, and it's very interesting. You know, so here, I'm gonna just make things pop for you real quick. I'm gonna use my 6B. 6B. Okay, I know that there is this mirror here. Just get that in real quick. Which is, it just totally curves the edge of the carousel, right? The carousel, and here we are, darkness, woo, darkness under that carousel, isn't that beautiful? And then we have also the stand. We have a bunch of horses. You know, I'm just gonna, we got a bunch of horses, guys. You know, right there, it goes up in the shadow, and there's this beautiful tails. Shadow. I'm just going to do gestures because I'm not going to spend too much time on this. You guys are. Okay. So that means that comes down. Where is this in juxtaposition to the skull? That's how you can tell. Then you can get your skull in there. These eyes are definitely not there. They're here. The skull goes back. On this side, you can see it. It goes back. Almost on top of the carousel. But I'm not going to do too much with this because this is not my good drawing tool because I'll just go too dark, but I kind of wanted to just show you guys, you know, the drawing mechanisms that you can take, and I'm going to just try to make it pop a little bit in certain areas. If it's not white, then it's in shade, period. I mean, we're doing black and white drawings, so this definitely, you know, if it's not white, it's in shade, and you want to express texture and color through tones. Okay. Let's just add there, it will pop a little bit. And then here it does something interesting. It's dark in there. Right, goes down. I mean, how you do your gingham is how you do your gingham, but you can just make gestures of it. Okay. Shade in here is actually very interesting. Okay, now if I were to get back here, I would want to go nice and dark. Even not all over, just to show that that's how it went. I need to sharpen my pencil, don't I? Okay, so do you understand that my 6B is taking it deep, taking it even further? It's helping me form my, and there's that. It's helping me form the skull. It's helping me make things pop. And it's not really a trick. It's just a choice of using a darker pigment or darker tone on your drawing. Okay. To create form. And this is a study of the eye. I mean, like, meaning study of the eye, meaning your eye is studying everything. So this is an eye study, I guess we could tell. Okay. All right. So I kind of feel like you guys got the gist of what I was doing. It goes all the way up and down. And in here, it gets all, there we go. Okay, and it even goes all the way here and it kind of does this weird thing. Okay, but and in here, it does something very different, so. Oh, wait a minute, that's the conga, so excuse me. I better check and see if my perspective is good. Okay. Okay, and the conga does round itself right off, right in there. Conga's got a beautiful little metal bottom that we'll deal with. Okay, and in here, the horses are here, you know, you can do the shade of the saddles. You can go as detailed as you like to get your horses, if that's what you're doing. You may not be doing a horse. You may just be doing a skull, or you may be doing whatever you want, as long as it's part of this study here of still life. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to sign off on the phone and go right to our laptop. Send this out. You just can't stop me, but I need to stop. Okay. Okay, and this turns using lights and darks. Go on forever. And that's what I want.